You know how it is, you want to get up to speed on important people, big topics, but without spending days reading.
Yeah, wading through tons of information can be overwhelming.
Exactly. So that's what we're doing today. We're taking a deep dive into someone who's been, well, a really central figure, Imran Khan.
Right. Politician, philanthropist, legendary cricketer. He's worn a lot of hats. Served as Pakistan's 19th prime minister, founded the PTI party.
And led Pakistan to that Cricket World Cup win back in '92. Just an incredible range of influence.
Absolutely. His story, in many ways, kind of mirrors Pakistan's own journey over the last few decades, doesn't it? The shifts, the challenges.
It really does. And for this deep dive, our main source is the Wikipedia entry on him. Now, you might think you know the basics, but this thing is huge.
How huge are we talking?
As of March 2025, it was nearly 17,000 words of actual text. Massive.
Oof. Wow. Okay, yeah, that definitely needs some distilling.
So that's our mission today. Cut through that, pull out the really crucial stuff. His early life, the cricket highs, the move into politics, his time as PM, and, everything that's happened since. The essentials, basically.
Consider us your guides, then. We'll hit the highlights, the turning points, the surprising bits, everything you really need to grasp his impact.
Okay, let's dive in. Starting at the beginning, born in Lahore, October 5th, 1952. So he's 72 now.
Comes from a fairly well-off background, education at Aitchison College Cathedral School in Lahore, then off to England, Royal Grammar School, Worcester. And there's a little detail from his time in England. During the 71 Indo-Pakistani War, he apparently worked part-time, washing dishes, cutting cheese.
Really? Didn't know that. Shows a bit of grit, I guess, even early on.
Yeah, a sense of independence, maybe. Then he went on to Oxford Keble College, graduated in 75.
With that classic PPE degree, right? Philosophy, politics, economics.
That's the one. Seems like a launching pad for so many in public life. But of course, before politics dominated, it was all about cricket. International debut in 71 against England.
And what a career. It wasn't just good, it was, legendary status, really.
Totally. Holds the world record for most test wickets as a captain. Think about that leadership aspect, even then, leading from the front.
Yeah, that definitely became part of his political brand later, didn't it?
For sure. And he wasn't just about his own stats. He's credited with pushing for neutral umpires in cricket.
Oh, right. That was a big deal for fairness in the game.
Huge deal. Plus, most Player of the Series awards for Pakistan in tests. 4th overall historically. Just immense skill.
His captaincy really lifted Pakistan's game, too. Those first ever test series wins in India and England in '87.
And holding the West Indies, who were dominant then, to 3 drawn series in the '80s. That was a golden era for Pakistan cricket, and he was right at the center.
Wisden Cricketer of the Year '83, International Cricketer of the Year '89. The accolades piled up.
And technically, he was innovative, mastered reverse swing, learning from Sarfraz Nawaz.
And then passed it on to Wasim Akram and Waqar Younis. Basically shaped the next generation of Pakistan's legendary fast bowlers.
Exactly. He was the top test wicket taker in '82, had that incredible 8 for 58 against Sri Lanka. Just phenomenal stats.
But the absolute peak, the moment everyone remembers.
That has to be the '92 World Cup.
Yeah. Captaining them to victory. And he wasn't just captain, he top scored in the final. 72 runs.
And took the final wicket himself. Talk about sealing the deal. That win made him a national icon, cemented that image of a leader who delivers.
So after hanging up his cricket boots, his focus shifted, right, towards public service.
It did. He became UNICEF's special representative for sports, working on health and immunization stuff across South Asia. A clear step in that direction.
And that led to, arguably, his biggest legacy outside cricket. The Shaukat Khanum Hospital.
Yeah, the cancer hospital in Lahore opened in '94, named after his mother who died of cancer.
Funded entirely by donations, wasn't it? Over $25 million raised.
That's right. And what's really striking is how much came from ordinary Pakistanis, people giving small amounts. It showed this incredible level of trust and admiration he already had.
He really connected with people, even auctioned off his own World Cup memorabilia later for flood relief.
Yeah, the bat and sweater from the '92 final shows commitment. And he didn't stop at healthcare. He got involved in education, too.
Right, Chancellor of the University of Bradford in the UK for nearly a decade.
And he helped set up Nimal College back in Pakistan, Mianwali, as an associate college of Bradford, focusing on technical and vocational education, trying to tackle youth unemployment there.
Okay, so you see this transition. Sports hero, philanthropist, education advocate. Politics seems like the next logical step. But he didn't jump right in.
No, apparently he turned down offers earlier, even during his playing days, from big names like Zia-ul Haq and Nawaz Sharif.
Interesting. Suggests he was maybe waiting for the right time or wanted his own platform.
Could be. He had a brief stint in '93 as an ambassador for tourism in a caretaker government, maybe a little taste of governance.
And then finally, he forms his own party. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, PTI, April 96.
Movement for Justice. The name itself set the tone. But early elections weren't easy for him. Ran in '97, didn't win a seat.
What about his relationship with Musharraf? He initially supported the '99 coup, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Seemed to believe Musharraf would clamp down on corruption, but they fell out later. Khan actually turned down an offer to be PM under Musharraf in 2002.
Show some shifting views on military involvement, maybe.
Possibly. He did win his first National Assembly seat in 2002 from Mianwali, and PTI supported Musharraf in that controversial referendum extending his presidency.
But the real momentum for PTI seemed to build later, around 2011. Those huge rallies in Lahore, Karachi.
Right, absolutely pivotal. That's when PTI really exploded onto the national scene as a major contender. Huge crowds, lots of young people fired up by his anti-corruption message.
He had that outsider appeal, the integrity image from sports and philanthropy. It clearly struck a chord.
Definitely. An IRI poll in 2012 actually put PTI as the most popular party nationally then.
He was also very vocal against the U.S. drone strikes, wasn't he? Led that protest caravan in 2012.
Yes, very critical of U.S. policy in the tribal areas. And then in 2013, he rolled out his Naya Pakistan resolution, the vision for a new Pakistan, social justice, economic reform, independent foreign policy.
Leading into the 2013 elections, the PTI symbol was the cricket bat, of course.
A constant reminder. His campaign focused on pulling Pakistan out of the U.S. war on terror, pushing for a uniform education system. Big promises.
And wasn't there that incident where he fell off a stage during a rally?
Yeah, quite dramatic. But he kept campaigning from his hospital bed, probably reinforced that image of being determined, resilient.
So 2013 election results, PTI didn't win nationally, but became the second largest party by popular vote.
And crucially, they formed the provincial government in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. That was their first real chance to govern and implement their ideas.
His stance on the Pakistani Taliban, the TTP, drew some attention too, advocating dialogue, criticizing U.S. drone strikes that killed their leader.
Right, even demanding Pakistan block NATO supply lines at one point. It was a controversial position for some.
Politics stayed turbulent. 2014 saw that alliance, sort of a de facto one, with Tahir al-Qadri staging those long sit-ins in Islamabad against Nawaz Sharif's government.
Yeah, pushing for regime change. But that ended abruptly after the horrific Peshawar school massacre. Khan called off the sit-in, citing the need for national unity.
Then came the Panama Papers in 2016. That must have been political dynamite for him.
Absolutely. Revelations about Nawaz Sharif's family's offshore assets. Khan and PTI went all in, campaigning hard against corruption, calling it a defining moment.
Which brings us to the 2018 general election. That was his breakthrough moment.
Huge moment. He contested 5 seats and won all 5 almost unheard of, showed massive personal popularity.
And PTI won the most seats overall, 116 out of 270 contested, enough to form a coalition government.
He was nominated for PM on August 6th, sworn in on August 18th, 2018, the 22nd Prime Minister of Pakistan.
And he framed his premiership around the principles of the state of Medina, right? Emphasizing welfare, justice.
Yeah, that was the rhetoric. But the reality he inherited was tough, especially economically. Big balance of payments, crisis, looming debt.
So IMF bailout was pretty much inevitable.
Let's think that way. They sought an IMF package and brought in austerity measures, cutting spending, trying to boost tax collection.
Did it work? I remember hearing Pakistan's ease of doing business ranking improved.
It did improve significantly, which was positive, and the fiscal deficit reduced initially. But challenges like high inflation really hit ordinary people, and exports didn't really take off as hoped.
They also implemented the next phase of the China-Pakistan Free Trade Agreement, trying to boost that relationship.
Right. And the austerity was quite public cuts to the PM's office budget, auctioning off state-owned luxury cars, that sort of thing. Trying to lead by example, symbolically at least.
What about environment and energy? He seemed keen on big projects.
Yeah, supported fundraising for those massive dam projects, Dimer Basha and Momend. Important for water and hydropower.
And wasn't there a big push against coal power?
Yes. Pledge to avoid new coal plants, aimed for 60% renewable energy by 2030. Ambitious target. And launched the 10 billion tree tsunami program.
That got a lot of attention, though I think there were some questions about its effectiveness later. Audit issues?
There were some reports of irregularities, yeah. Implementation challenges for such a large-scale project.
Okay, foreign policy under Khan seemed quite active regionally.
He did try to mediate a bit, offer to help U.S.-Iran talks, visited both Tehran and Riyadh trying to ease tensions.
Backed Turkey on its Syria operation, too.
Yeah.
Maintained the standard line on not recognizing Israel.
And the relationship with China remained key, of course. Plus, he made a point of seeking a closer, multidimensional relationship with Russia.
Culminating in that visit to Moscow, right as the Ukraine invasion began. That drew criticism.
It did, from Western countries, and his government pushed back quite strongly against a letter from Western envoys about Pakistan's stance.
Domestically, press freedom was an area where his government faced criticism, wasn't it? Allegations of suppressing dissent.
Yes, that was a recurring point of concern raised by media watchdogs and opposition.
On the security front, though, reports suggested a drop in terror attacks in 2019.
There were indications of improvement, and his government formally banned Jamaat-ud-Dawa and arrested Hafiz Saeed under international pressure.
Any movement on reforming state-owned enterprises, PIA, Pakistan steel mills.
Some efforts. PIA reportedly hit operational break-even for a period. Golden handshakes were offered at Pakistan steel mills, trying to downsize the struggling entity.
And the anti-corruption drive. That was central to his platform.
It was prominent, yes. But it consistently faced accusations from opponents of being selective, politically motivated targeting.
He was also very vocal internationally about Islamophobia.
Very much so. Pushed for the UN to declare an international day against it, which eventually happened March 15th.
Announced plans for that joint TV channel with Turkey and Malaysia, too. And criticized Facebook. Macron.
Yeah. Took a strong stance on issues related to the portrayal of Islam.
Social policies seemed to make some efforts toward minorities. Restoring religious sites, that Gurdwara.
Returning the 200-year-old Gurdwara was significant, and the Kartarpur corridor for Sikh pilgrims from India was a major diplomatic and symbolic achievement.
Huge deal for the Sikh community. And he launched those big welfare programs.
The ESOS program, a massive social safety net, and expanded the Sehat Sahulat program, aiming for universal health coverage. Really significant investments in social welfare.
How did his government handle COVID? I remember seeing some positive polling.
Yeah, a 2021 survey showed relatively high approval, around 73% for their pandemic response, which was interesting compared to many other countries, though the economic impact was still tough.
But then, despite all this, his premiership ended quite abruptly. April 2022.
Through a no-confidence motion. First time ever a Pakistani PM was removed that way.
And he alleged foreign interference, didn't he? That letter claiming U.S. involvement?
He did. Presented it as evidence of a conspiracy to oust him. The U.S. strongly denied any involvement.
So his post-premiership period, it's been dominated by legal battles, hasn't it?
Almost entirely. Started with that Toshikana case about gifts received as PM, failing to disclose details, selling them.
He disclosed receiving hundreds of gifts, but the Election Commission found him guilty of concealing assets.
Right, and disqualified him from holding office for a term back in October 2022. That was the first major blow.
And then, just a month later, that assassination attempt during the march.
Shocking incident in Wazirabad. He was injured, survived, but immediately blamed the government and establishment who denied it. Really raised the political temperature.
Things escalated further in 2023 and 2024. Multiple arrests.
Yeah, arrested in March 23 for the Toshikana case, then again dramatically in May 23 at the Islamabad High Court over another corruption case.
That May arrest sparked massive protests, right? Things got quite chaotic.
Very widespread unrest. The Supreme Court later ruled the arrest illegal, but the pressure was immense. A lot of key PTI figures deserted him around that time, too.
And the convictions started rolling in during 2024.
Yes. Convictions in Toshikana, again, the Cipher case related to that alleged conspiracy letter, and even a case about the waiting period for his marriage, the Edat case.
Though some sentences were suspended, pending appeal.
Some have been, yes. But the legal fights are far from over and have effectively kept him sidelined politically, at least physically.
Yet, despite being in prison, his popularity seems, well, undiminished. Maybe even increased.
Reports certainly suggest that. He remains a hugely relevant figure. He consistently frames the cases as political persecution.
And he's been very critical of the army leadership and the current government from prison.
Openly so. It's quite remarkable, really. He even tried to run for Chancellor of Oxford while in prison.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's bold. Though I guess he was disqualified.
Yeah, disqualified due to the convictions and his active political role. But it shows he's still trying to maintain a presence on different stages.
So looking back at his whole political persona, firebrand, nationalist, populist rhetoric.
That's how he's often described. His platform mixed Islamic values, sort of leftist economics on welfare, a huge anti-corruption focus, and calls for reforming the judiciary and police.
But critics point to inconsistencies over his career.
Yes, his positions have shifted on various issues over the decades, which isn't uncommon for long political careers, but it's something often highlighted.
He also courted controversy with comments about liberals, Pashtuns.
There were definitely moments that drew criticism. And then there's that whole image transformation people talk about.
Right, the Playboy image from his cricket days, especially in the UK media back in the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Contrasted with his later shift towards more overt religious conservatism. That's a fascinating aspect of his public persona and how it evolved and how it played into his political appeal in Pakistan.
But even with controversies, his approval ratings as PM seemed pretty solid for much of his term.
Relatively robust, yeah. And interestingly, his UN speech on Kashmir in 2019 reportedly boosted his popularity significantly in Indian-administered Kashmir.
His influence went beyond politics, too. Ads during his cricket career, that biopic captain.
Even down to fashion. That Peshawari chapel style he wore, becoming known as the Captain Chapel, shows his cultural impact.
So when you pull it all together, it's just an incredibly packed life, isn't it? World-class athlete, nation-defining victory, major philanthropist, political ascent, prime minister, dramatic removal, ongoing legal battles.
It's genuinely multifaceted. From the cricket pitch to the highest office, and now facing immense challenges, the turning points are just so stark.
Yeah, that shift in image you mentioned is one. And just the fact of being the first PM removed by no confidence and everything that's followed, it's incredibly dramatic.
It really is. His story continues to unfold in real time.
This deep dive, just going through the key points from that massive Wikipedia entry, it really leaves you thinking. What does his journey, with all its highs and lows, tell us about leadership itself, its potential, its fragility?
And what does it reflect about Pakistani politics specifically? The role of personality, the military populism, the judiciary, it's all intertwined in his story.
And maybe even broader questions about that intersection of sports stardom, celebrity culture, and political power. How does that work in the modern world? It's a complex picture, definitely one that invites more thought and watching how things develop in Pakistan.